Get the front of it, honey. The basketball. See him?
She's a nice girl.
Good golfers here at least. Ray Hughes, Lewis and Clark Middle School head coach. Ray Hughes, former Lincoln basketball player. And by the way, Ray, the only guy on the whole staff that's not married or engaged. Is that right, Ray? Okay. He's clapping for himself. All right. Way to go, Ray. Maybe we'll have some news for you next year, guys. Okay, Lewis and Clark Middle School assistant coach Andy Beach, also on the coaching staff. Andy is back here. All right, now let's give the whole coaching staff a big round of applause. The Jefferson City Jays basketball team. David. Thank you. First and foremost, Barry, raise your hand. Barry Dickey, Terry Ferguson, thanks for the great meal. We really appreciate it. I want to take a little time, and I know the main objective tonight is to recognize our athletes and those participants of our basketball team this year, but there are also some other people that need to be recognized, and I would like to take some time to make sure that we do that. Before we do that, I think you kind of get, or the tone has been set by Rod. This kind of goes out to all coaches, wives, fiancés, significant others, whatever you want to call it. Regardless of what people say about you, I still like you. First and foremost, and that goes for me too, because I know you feel the same way, because I'm sure I'll have some fun things also. The best thing is this year with this staff, I'm going to talk about them later, not one, this is a huge thing, not once did we get lost this year. I mean, traveling's been a problem in the past, and some of you know that. We did not get lost once this year going to the lines. That's pretty good. I do have some other people I'd like to recognize. My parents, Dr. and Mrs. Gary Fox, if you please stand. Thanks for being here and being an inspiration for me. Those that have my wife and my kids, Janet Fox, Dustin, and Kai Marie, wherever you are, thanks for being here. You can hold your applause as I go through these people. Coaching every year becomes more and more difficult. And as I have two teenagers now, one that'll be in high school next year, it's even going to be more and more difficult, and it's very taxing. I guarantee you it would not be possible without them. We have some people from the Board of Education with us tonight. I'd like for them to stand and give them a big plug. Ms. Jackie Coleman, if you please stand. Mr. Steve Newman, and Mrs. Nancy Wilson. Thanks for being here. I might add, it was almost a year to this day, last year, that I put a big-time pledge out to a lot of people in this place, and we gave out some flyers for a very important bond issue. And guess what happens June 1st this year? That floor is gone, and that's huge. Well, thank you. Very nice. Very good. Those that know, we are getting a brand new basketball floor in high school this summer. I might as well also, on April 4th, there will be another bond issue for this school, the school district. Please get out there and support. I believe this is for technology, if I'm not mistaken, and we appreciate everything you can do. Dr. Pemberton was here and had to go to another meeting. Mr. Mantle, Stan Mantle, assistant principal at the high school. Mrs. Valerie Robinson, assistant principal at the high school. And Ms. Rhonda Key from Science and Ninth Grade Center. Would you please stand? Thank you for being here. There have been some changes, new faces amongst the administration, one of which is a very good friend. Extremely pleased that he is now the new athletic director of Jefferson City High School, Tim Thompson. Tim. I'd like to introduce the cheerleading coach, cheerleading captain, Lynn Earl. Lynn and all cheerleaders, thanks for being here tonight. And we have one representative of local media, of course, Rod Smith, and I just had an opportunity to visit with Rod, and I think Rod's profession and job is much like a coach's, maybe in the heat of the season, But you know, it's such a tough job. Let me kind of give you a couple examples. Let's see, 5 days in Atlanta covering the Super Bowl.
Tough.
You were last week in the Big 12 tournament, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then leaves, I think, tomorrow for Birmingham, Alabama to cover the Tigers in the NCAA tournament. But somebody's got to do it, right? Great. Rod Smith does a great job, local KRC2. Thank you, Rod. I have one question, and those of you will appreciate this. I had a phone call from Tom Leffler today, who is our local news hound with the News Tribune, and he also is going to Birmingham. Are you and Tom going to be rooming together down there? Oh, no, okay, I was just checking. Awesome. Okay, also Kevin Kelly, KWS called today and could not be here because of other commitments, but I do want to recognize him. Ron Dunn, I saw here earlier. Ron, very good. Caparese Sports Medicine. Thanks for all the good work you do, Ron. The voice of the trades, Greg Gaffney. Greg, stand up, please. There's our announcement on our home game. We've got a couple other people here tonight that I'd like to mention very briefly. The host of our basketball team this year at the Mike Keogh Grade 8 Classic was Doug Reese. Doug, would you please stand? Thanks for being here. And it would not be fair if I didn't mention our good friend and our Booster Club president, who is also the host of our basketball team at the MFL Shootout in Columbia, Mr. Harvey Finn. Thanks, Harvey. We have probably one of the more active booster clubs in the area. Obviously, you can tell by the way that things were set up tonight. Fortunately for myself, I came in about 5:30 and had a chance to see this room before you sat down and made it a mess. But I do want to give a big thank you to two people who were here very early this afternoon and did a great job. And let's please give them a good round of applause. That's to Miss Marge Thompson and Donna Morris. Please stand. Thank you very much. Great job. Continuing on with the Booster Club, this year's officer, and if you'd stand and we'll hold our applause until all 4 officers have been recognized. The president this year is Harvey Finn. The vice president, you can stand. The vice president is George Tice. The secretary is Donna Morris. And the treasurer is Rhonda Mann. Please give them a round of applause for their efforts. The list of accomplishments by this Booster Club is too long. We don't have the time for me to go over them, but I hope, and we try at each level, I know these coaches try at each level, we reap tremendous benefits from their hard work, whether it be at Tiger, Air, at Travelways, whether it be extra meal money, whether it be a meal, period. Our kids are very fortunate to have people working and doing the things that they have behind them. Again, the list is way too long. We have a tremendous Booster Club, and they're extremely active. From our coaches and coaching staff and our players, I know you do not get thanked enough, but please accept this thank you big time from all of us for your efforts this year. Thank you very much. Booster Club. The Mike Keogh Grade 8 was in its 8th season last year. Next year will be its 9th. I know we have some committee members. As always, I know Brad Hudson is no longer the chairman. That's what he thinks. But again, Brad is really one of the guys that got this thing started several years ago. Mike Keogh Grade 8 Holiday Classic every year is getting bigger and better. The field is set for next year with the exception of one team. It's unbelievable. It's just a tremendous tournament to have here in Jefferson City. I know we have a sprinkling of committee members in the crowd. If you're a member of the Holiday Tournament Committee, would you please stand and be recognized at this time? Don't be shy. Give them a round of applause. Coaches, Andre Salman, Bill Gunn, Scott Hovis, Ryan Fick, Raymond Hughes, Andy Beach, Chad Reisner, Greg Benning. Your work does not go unnoticed. Sometimes it can be very difficult, sometimes it can be very trying. We all know sometimes it's very touchy, and we have very tense moments. I thought this year was probably one of the best jobs as a staff you have ever done. I congratulate all of you on that. Thank you. I also have some 7th grade coaches in attendance. Bill Green and Al Meyer. Would you guys please stand? And finally, a couple Club J coaches. I know Rick Pettit's here. I think I saw Jerry Kopp a minute ago. Would you guys please stand and be recognized? I think that is, at this time, all I have. Thank you.
As David mentioned, we're here to honor the players tonight, but also the cheerleaders. They're sitting over here. They do a great job. Every once in a while, we get a little video of them on the highlights too, right? We try. Yeah. Let's hear it for the cheerleaders. And hey, by the way, before we hear it for the cheerleaders, let me tell you, Lynn Earl is their sponsor, as David mentioned. Lynn, one of the things that she was persuaded to do this season, what I understand, by the cheerleading squad, is you remember down at Springfield? You remember a little four-legged friend? Yeah, they persuaded Lynn to give Andre a little puppy dressed up in a Santa suit. Is that right? For Christmas. Abercrombie? Something like that? Is that right? And you still have it, right? Yeah, all right. Nice gift, I think is what that is. Why don't you welcome Lynn Earl, sponsor of the cheerleaders.
They don't normally let me up here, and after this time, they may never do it again. Actually, I wrote everybody's name down so I remember when to stand up here and forget. And since Fox had to bring it up, I'm not a member of their coaching staff, and yes, I did get lost twice this year, but that wasn't our fault. We were just investigating the area for the rest of you. So anyway, I do want to thank the Booster Club also, because you always find ways to make us feel welcome and to thank us, and we do really appreciate it. I most of all want to thank the coaches for being so nice to us and letting us ride the bus just so we don't get lost. And I especially want to thank Tim Thompson, the new athletic director, for being so nice to the cheerleading staff and very pleasant when we go in and ask silly questions. And I want to thank both my seniors, who, if you'll please stand, ladies, and that's Sarah Mercer and Lindsay Shrimp, co-captains and the seniors, and their very last banquet for basketball. Bye, ladies. Thank you. Make it really quick now, because I can just feel Coach Salmon down there going, sit down, sit down. Anyway, we've got Megan Wingholt, Heather Bader, Lisa Yeagers. Ladies, if you'll please stand, those are your names. Okay, Whitney Ambrose, Sarah Marr, Holly Schubert, Nikki Kindlespire, and last but not least, little bit, Heather McNally. Thank you, ladies, very much.
Clark, amazing. There's no way that I would make it without Andy Beach. He's done a great job, and he's going to continue to do a great job. Now, to the players, starting on this end, this is my manager, Charlie Jones, son of Gail Jones.
And moving to the west side of town at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Coach Chad Reisner. Chad, come on forward if you will. Chad, by the way, is getting a new assistant coach this summer. Her name is Melissa. He's married. He's going to get married, right, Chad? Former football jaybird, going to be a happily married man this summer. And
great future. I think there's times where we yell and scream as a group, and you have to think back, these kids are 14 feet pride, you're going to take their best shot at them. And I think they learned that the night when we lost to Jeff Jr.'s B team, because we weren't prepared to play. And it's a good lesson. Hopefully they learned it this year, so when they get up here for these three guys, they won't have that problem again. At this time, I'd like for them one by one, we'll have them come up. Coach Fox is going to give you either a numeral or a letter.
thanks, Scott. How many of y'all have tried to find jbasketball.com, the webpage, jbasketball webpage? Have you seen it? Most of you have. Several, yeah. Well, it's pretty neat if you haven't seen it. We finally got, I didn't get into the internet too much until this year, but Bill Gunn does a really nice job on it. It's got a lot of neat stuff on there. Might be something you want to check into. Like I said, I hadn't done a whole lot with the internet, but he's also doing mosports.com, right? So do I have that right? mosports.com, another pretty interesting site there. I'm just getting into this internet business, and now the unfortunate thing is, though, how many of you like to hear the computer say, "You got mail"? A lot of you like to hear that, but at the TV station, it's really not a good sign. You wouldn't want the email that I get sometimes. But at any rate, when I get that, sometimes I just don't read it. I just go right to his website, and I get a lot more joy out of that. It's good stuff. Hey, Bill Gunn also takes care of the sophomore basketball team. Fine coach with Jefferson City, and it seemed like I was going to say one other thing about you, Bill. Oh, I know. If Bill gets to going on a little too long, like you may have in the past few years, what we do at the TV station, when I'm doing sports and I get to going too long and we're running out of time, they just go like this. This is my wrap-up cue. So I got to stop talking doing sports. So feel free to use that if you need to, all right? Bill Gunn, come on up.
Club, and I just want you to know that I really appreciate what you do. As far as the parents, this is, I had an amazing group of kids, and I think one thing that I've learned as long as I've been in this business is that when you have an amazing group of kids, you have an amazing group of kids because you have a pretty good group of parents. And I think that's definitely a direct reflection on you. I've never seen a group of individuals that have as much parental support. We would go to St. Louis and play at Hazelwood Central at 5 o'clock, and I know it's difficult to make it to St. Louis when we get out of here at noon, much less you guys working and doing all the things you have to do and still making that commitment. And I know it's very important to your sons that you were there, and I want to let you know that it was important to me, and I appreciated all the support from the parents this year. You guys did a tremendous job. 4 years, and to me, it's just, that's one of the best things about what we get to do is we get to watch people grow, not only as a player, but more importantly as an individual. And this group, it's been fun to watch them. I remember 4 years ago on the Simonson track, this tall, gangly, skinny freshman came out, and I said, what in the world are you out for? And George Ty said, I'm out for basketball. The man, I didn't know if he could get around the track. I was concerned about his well-being, and I will say this, 4 years later, he has absolutely worked his rear end off. He has worked in the weight room, and I can say this, there's not one thing that's been asked of George Ties in the last 4 years that he hasn't said, yes sir, and worked absolutely as hard as he could to achieve that. And I think that's why he's developed into the person, most importantly, and the player that he is. And I wish you the best of luck in whatever you decide to do. Aaron Thompson, I enjoyed working with you for 4 years, and I will say this, my wife, she will second this. We have saved videos this year because I have a feeling that my son who's working on layups right now, when he gets to this level, hopefully he can play varsity basketball. He's probably going to be about 5'8", not that you're 5'8", he's probably going to be about 5'8", and he might be, not jumping up and touching the rim and doing these things, but if he plays a 10th of as hard as you played this year, and he works a 10th of as hard as you worked on defense, and as hard as you work boxing out, I've never seen him box out like this individual. And it's all just, he works his butt off every day. And you had a tremendous career and a tremendous senior year, and I wish you the best of luck. Herman Grant, I don't know why Coach always was like that, but I won't do that. Herman, you had a nice year. You had a nice career as well. It's hard to believe, I remember when we were on the sophomore floor and you kept trying to convince me that you were a guard, not a 4, to get you out to the perimeter. Well, Coach Fox is smarter than me, so he moved you out there, and it was a pleasure this year to watch you. I still can't figure out how that ball goes in the hole, but you put it in there very effectively, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you the best. This was a tremendous, this senior class, I don't know how many of you made a trip down to Springfield at the beginning of the year. And I don't know how many expectations there were for this group at the beginning of the year. But if you got a chance to go down to Springfield, when you came back, I don't know if you wanted to come back. And I don't mean that in a nice way, because you guys worked tremendously hard the whole year, and you listened, and you were coachable, and you did all these things, and you won, I believe, 15 games. And I think, obviously, we would have liked to have gotten a little bit farther, but I just wanted to make sure that I tell you that I appreciate all the work that you did, and you guys had a great season and a great career. Brett, thanks for all you do working with stats, and we always appreciate your efforts. All right, I see people doing this, so I'm going to rush it up here. I started with the sophomores, and I'm going to go back to the sophomores. I had a great year.
Really respect them for it. It's a lot of work. Full-time job, and to go back to school and to work on that degree. Andre, Dave, and Bill all will, I guess, get masters in administration in May, right? Right, that's great. So, yeah, let's give them a hand for that. That's for our administrators. We know where to get them. And Stan Mantle, if you want to go back into coaching, we got some smart guys here that can take your place now, all right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. You can talk to Dr. Pemberton. But Andre, why don't you come on forward? Talk about the JV squad. Andre Solomon.
First of all, oh, balance. Make sure he gets close to our goal. So. I'd like to thank the Booster Club for everything you do. I mean, that's another part of our family because you guys do so much for us as a team. As far as make sure these young men are fully equipped. I come from a small 2A school that we didn't have the support that you have here at Jeff City, and I just think it means the world when someone wants to work their tail off and get nothing for it reward-wise as far as doing the things you guys do. Really appreciate your efforts. I'd like to thank the parents. I know a lot of voices are used in the games. You trust us to coach your sons to work and do the best they possibly can. A lot of times there's a lot of good things going on, and then there's times where things are not so good. And I know they come home with a lot of stories about their coaches, about their friends, and things that they experience. And hopefully that you know, these young men are gaining some type of positive thing that's going to help them later on in life, and that's the thing we look forward to. I'd like to thank the coaches, Coach Hughes, all the enthusiasm, excitement, youth that you bring to our floor. I mean, it's full of energy. Coach Reisner for doing all the scouting, you know, going on those long trips in the snow and coming back and you don't have to play again. Appreciate all that. But Coach Vick, welcome to the staff. I know you're going to do well. Coach Gunn for everything you do as far as from the computer, as far as opening your door, letting me in your house, being a good listener. Basically, just being that person telling me that, hey, Coach Solomon, you can't do it, just on my side, and really appreciate that. And also Randy for allowing us to come to your house and those things and have your meals. I got to keep that bill playing in. I got to get something changed on it. The city's changing me. I've never been this size. Coach Fox, again, appreciate. I don't have enough words to express all the things that you do. Again, you just don't get all the good things that should be given to you because you do so much for this program, and appreciate all the confidence you have in me and all the inspiration, and also the family, Dustin and Kaya, all the things you guys do, and appreciate that part. Managers, Dustin, Tyrone, and Brett, thanks for everything you do. I know you guys have to work extremely hard, and you know, you are the best managers in the school right now, okay? Our seniors, I just can't say enough. There's just a lot of heart, a lot of pride and determination, and this is going to be a group in 10 years from now we know it's going to come back, and there's going to be a lot of great things that happen just because of the things you guys have accomplished. You know, starting this time of year, your freshman year, sophomore year, and working to be where you're at right now, seniors, and you know, being able to look at us and say, hey, it's been a great experience at Jeff City High School, and I just think that's what's part of it. Appreciate everything you've done. I just know you guys are going to be really good people someday, okay? Juniors, I'd like to have the juniors come up, please. Okay, Marcus Dallas, from my right to my left, Keith Towner, Tommy Norman, Quantrell Cody, and John Schinkel. Again, I had a chance to coach 4 games with these guys. In December, these guys were undefeated under me, and in January they were 0-2, so they were 2-2 record. And the teams they beat Hickman, Webb City in December, and lost to Elias and Hickman first 2 games back. Just hope that everything you guys had a chance to experience this year, I hope this is something that's going to get an eye-opener for you to ask that you get yourself prepared for the month of April on up to the season starts again, and take the experience you've got this year and look to try to go forward. And I know it's been a great
Important, but it's when I see that sign up there, class of 2000 commitment to graduation, that's always inspired by the great works that you do in the classroom too. Each year when we do the banquet. So I would like for Mrs. Valerie Robinson to come forward, assistant principal, and we have several academic awards to hand out tonight. Dave Fox will come up and announce several of those.
Thank you. As Mrs. Robinson's on her way up, the criteria for an academic award is for the freshman class, they would have to maintain a 3.0 grade point average the first semester. Anybody at the high school at 3.0 the semester prior, or an accumulative 3.0. We'll read them off and give them to you right here. Okay? And this will be the freshman. If you'll come up and please stand up here, and we'll recognize all of you at the same time. Aaron Thompson. And Keith Towner. Tremendous. How about a nice round of applause?
If I were a coach, I don't think I'd want to play all those tough games, but to get 16 wins out of that schedule is pretty darn good. And I was really impressed with some of those victories. I know we learned a little bit in the media, even when you're down by 20 points at halftime, don't go home. Do you remember a game this year? Down by 20, I think you came back to win that thing, didn't you? Yeah, that was a great game. I can say that here. Can't say it other places, can I? Don't tell anybody I said that, all right? Just between you and me, all right, guys? Hey, I want to introduce head coach of this basketball program who does a dynamite job. I think Bill Gunn used the word dedication, and that really hits home. I don't know anybody who works any harder at it and is more dedicated to building young men into good basketball players and good young men, too. And I appreciate the work that he does for our community here. And won't you give him a great round of applause? Dave Fox, head basketball coach of the
Thank
Jays.
you. Season in review. This is for you underclassmen, you 8th graders, you freshmen, you sophomores that have been here before, you juniors and seniors. As I go through the next several minutes, I want you to consider what's going to be said about you. And tonight we're recognizing our athletes, but the next portion is specifically going to be geared toward the senior class. And it's been really nice. It's been great to hear all the different things that you've achieved, the tremendous efforts that your coaches and parents and family have been involved. But my mission and my goal for you is to pay attention and listen to some of the things that have happened, and then where are you going to be? In my mind, summarizing this season is very simple. It was a season of the little things. And I know from a coaching perspective and our coaching staff, that phrase was used more than once. Not just in the game of basketball and sports, but I think each and every person here tonight could go back and reflect, maybe in their job, wherever they are, students, in your classwork. Sometimes it's not big things, but it's the little things. We did have an outstanding season. But I want to just reflect some things to you, just how close it was to being even better. We set team goals. We have a goal board in our locker room. That goal board consists of several different statistics that we try to achieve as a basketball team. 2-point field goal, we try to shoot 52% every game. This year's team shot 50%. From the 3-point line, we set our goal at 38%. This year's team shot 30%. From the free throw line, as a team, we would like to shoot 70%. This year's team shot 63%. We would like to hold our opponents to 50 points per game. This year we did that. We held our opponents to 49 points per game. We like to average 12 steals a game. This year we averaged 10.4. We like to have only 12 turnovers per game. This year we averaged 13.8. We like to prevent our opponents shooting 42% from the field. We did that this year. Our opponents shot 41%. So when I look back, and I'm not going to go game by game, I'm not going to talk about different things that happened throughout the year. It really was a game of inches. And one thing that I would like for all of these members of this team, wherever life takes you, don't ever forget some of those lessons we learned this year and just that. Because sometimes it's not the big thing. Sometimes it's just the little things, and I really do feel those numbers speak for themselves. But I do have to remind you of a couple phenomenal games that I'll never forget. To my knowledge, and I'm from Columbia, Missouri, I don't think Hickman High School has ever been beaten by 30 points in their gym. Congratulations, you did that. Being from Columbia and realizing how great that was, it still wasn't as good as beating Elias like you did here in this gym on January 8th. I'll never forget that. And I think in summary, I was at the Reed Springs game. You guys came an awful long way. And you're to be congratulated on an outstanding season. For you seniors, life goes on. You'll land on your feet, you'll do fine. We'll talk about you a little bit more. For your underclassmen, we've already started working. Some of you who are involved in spring sports, if you're not, you'll start on April 10th. We've got great aspirations. Rod talked about the schedule. It's not any easier. It's not any easier. Matter of fact, we're looking for games. So what does that mean? I do have some things I would like to share with you as to some individual accomplishments by this year's basketball team. We had a couple individuals that broke into the record books, so to speak, or got their names into the record books. The first of which scored 390 points this season. He ranks 15th all season. The same individual, as far as the two-point field goal percentage for his career, and that's last year and this year, they shot 59.4%. That's second all time in Jeff City J basketball history. That's pretty significant. Congratulations. His 15.3 career average is also second all time in Jefferson City J basketball history. Congratulations. And I found one today. And this takes a lot of time to go back through the records and do all these other things. And I didn't think it was a record or significant until I read through a little bit. We do have a free throw award for a minimum of 50 free throws shot. You have to have shot 50 free throws in your career in order to be eligible for this award. We had a gentleman this year who shot 43 out of 51, which is 84.3%. That's the top ever in the program. So Jason Mann, you're number one. Your letter winners. Gentlemen, you will get a booklet, which would be a notebook, a basketball notebook, which Rick Pettit Company have made for you. Also your letters, and also all players at all levels on the back, 4, 5, or 6 tables. And they're clean, by the way. I do have your shooting shirts with your names on them. If it's not back there, check with me tomorrow. I'll try to hunt it down someplace else, but I would like for you to come and get it tonight as well. First year letter winner, freshman Sam McMahon. First year letter award winner, Jason Mantle. First year letter award winner, Andre Robinson. First year letter award winner, Tyler Gesh. First year letter award winner, senior Herman Grant. first-year letter award winner, Koofer-Thompson. That's a turnover. We have a couple second-year letter winners. We'll talk about these guys a little bit more in detail. Dustin Hutchison. Dominique Leake. Red Sander. George Tyus. And Tyrone Tyus. I'd also like to recognize this year's co-captains, Herman Grant and George Tyus. Thank you, guys. Almost all of our awards are exclusively done by statistics, with the exception of a few, and we'll talk about those later. We have several different statistical categories in which we keep, and our awards are based upon that. The Iron Man is the player who has played more minutes than anybody else on this year's basketball team, varsity minutes, of course. This individual played 638 minutes. It goes to Herman Grant. This year's leader in two-point field goal percentage, 148 out of 243 for 61%, goes to Dominique Leake. This year's three-point field goal percentage, 40 out of 100 for 40%, Jason Mann. Good. This year's free throw percentage, I just want you to sit down. It's at 43 out of 54, 84.3%, Jason Mann. Total points of 390 goes to Dominique Leake. Offensive rebounds goes to the gentleman that had 78 career offensive rebounds at Jeff City High School. This year he had 48 alone. Senior George Tyus. George also led us in defensive rebounds with 132. George Tyus. Usually you get an offensive rebound and then you score. And sometimes, you know, a guy can keep missing and get his own rebound. This year goes to Dominique Leake, who had 37. Dominique. This next category we haven't had since 1993-94. We had a big guy named Monty Harge. And that was block shots. We kept it this year. It's a good thing. This year's leader with 38 blocks is George Tyus. Our assist leader with 75, Dominique Leake. One of our categories is titled recoveries. For you, for other people, it means steals. This year, leading our team with steals, 43 was Jason Mann. You take great pride in being a captain in this basketball team and in this program. It's not somebody that just shows up in the month of November. For your underclassmen, the captains will start almost immediately. This year's captains I couldn't have been prouder of. They had co-captains, seniors Herman Grant and George Tyus. Come on, man. The next award is called the Zeus Award. It's named after a gentleman by the name of Mark Zabellin. Mark played here back in the 80s. I've been on staff maybe 5 years. And it was the first time that we actively got involved in a fall conditioning program, which now obviously is the norm and everybody does. We had a gentleman, as I said, named Mark Zabellin, that just kind of typified exactly what we wanted in a J athlete. And ever since then, we've had an award called the Zeus Award. That was his nickname, based upon the hardest worker or workers in the off season. This award is determined by the coaching staff, and it's given to the people that showed the greatest improvement from the beginning of the weight room to the end of the weight room, dedication, determination, all of those things. This year there are 2 recipients. They are Herman Grant and Aaron Thompson. You've met and had a chance to listen to all the coaches on this staff. But there are 3 very significant people that we could not function without. And they are our student assistants, our assistant coaches, our managers, whatever you want to call them. Would Dustin Hutchison, Tyrone Tyus, and Brett Sanders please come forward? You can stay right there and turn around and face the audience. Nobody's had a chance to talk about these guys much. Who takes care of all the most important things, like who gets what size pants? You don't think about it. So you guys don't know what happens in the locker room. Tyrone, I gotta have some 40s, man. I can't be in 38s. And you know what? Dustin Hutchison carries the biggest stick in this room. And don't you ever think he doesn't. He is unbelievable. I tell you what, this coaching staff could walk out today and you could probably finish this banquet, couldn't you? These guys are tremendous. And I tell you what, you hear people talk about right hands, they're more than that. Without their willingness and their help and their parents and all this stuff, I really think the best thing that ever happened was when Dustin got his license. Because I know Brad and Bona then weren't in a situation where they had to drive all the time. So please give these guys a round of applause. And finally, Brett Sanders has been with us for 2 years. And Brett does our statistics and has done our statistics, does a great job. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to see him at some games this last year. He and his parents have done a tremendous job getting him into games, and we really appreciate your efforts. So give these guys a nice round of applause. There's one award that is voted on by the team. It's done at the meeting at the conclusion of the year, and that's the most valuable player. This year's most valuable player of the 1999-2000 basketball team is senior George Tyus. Last year at this time I had to do 9 of these. This year I won't be doing as many. And that is somewhat of a little farewell to our seniors. Get a chance to talk a little bit about them briefly, let you know maybe what some of their plans are and what their expectations and goals in life from this high school are. Anthony Devereaux could not be with us tonight, but I wanted to share with you some of his accomplishments here at Jeff City High School and what his plans are from this day forward. Anthony has received the Omega Sci-Fi Award for Athletics and Academic Achievement this year. He's also active in the Keto Culture Club. His plans next year are to go to a 4-year school majoring in culinary arts. And there's no doubt in my mind that he will do that. So again, please be with us, and I'll make sure that I get Anthony his award. So nice round of applause for Anthony. Herman Grant, would you come up here, please? This is Herman. You turn around. I like when everybody gets to look at you. One of Herman's claims to fame, I give the kids a questionnaire and I ask them a couple of things. Go write down things that are significant in your high school experience. First thing I wrote down, played football as a freshman. That's great. But after listening to Coach Gunn a while ago, I assume you were on the line and you had to try to convince Coach Grosso to put you in the backfield, right? Herman also is a 4-year member of our basketball program. He is a member of the Keto Culture Club and is very active in Young Life. Next year he plans on attending college. He has interest in sociology. He's the son of James and Frankie Driver. And one final note, he would like to thank his parents, his coaches, Booster Club and fans, and in particular, his 7th grade coaches for making him the player that he is today. Ladies and gentlemen, Herman Grant. I received a letter Monday. I would like to take a moment to read some excerpts from it. This is from John and Karen Sander, who happen to be the parents of Brett. Brett still remembers the first time he ran into you almost 2 years ago. The friendship just kept getting better and just kind of happened. Out of it grew Brett's job of keeping computer statistics for the basketball team. It would be an understatement to say that Brett is a sports fanatic. Because of that opportunity we have given him to keep stats, he has been able to be around athletes. Because of that opportunity, he has become friends with more than one of them. For example, George Titus is quite a guy. He has taken the time to help Brett in their shared classes, as well as going out of his way to give Brett the low 5 and other actions to indicate to Brett that he is recognizing Brett. Because of this and other opportunities, Brett has been able to prove his value and enthusiasm for them. Additionally, we don't realize how his self-esteem and self-confidence have grown in the last couple of years. We attribute much of that to the J basketball program. It does not stop there. Brett has used his self-confidence to make many friends at school. Brett is so dependent upon other people to help him out. It seems like every time we go someplace, we hear somebody say, "Hi Brett, how you doing?" Coach, we want to thank you and your program for all the things you've done for Brett. From the trust that you put in Brett from the first time you met him to the emails that you trade often. Also include the team pictures, the free passes that have gotten him into so many games, to the recognition that Brett got at the Hearn Center on his birthday, even though he was in the bathroom and it was on the board. And most importantly, Brett is extremely proud and very happy of his letter, and he wears his letter jacket with great pride. A simple thank you seems so inadequate, but be assured, Brett will never forget how this program has made him, nor will we. Brett Sanders, did you come up here, please? Let me tell you a little bit more about this guy. He has a GPA of about 3.2. He's been on the honor roll since a freshman. He is in the process of attaining an A-plus school scholarship. His honors athletically include statistician on the basketball team for the past 2 years, and is interesting having the same role with the Issues baseball team. One of the things that I'm probably most proud of with Brett, and we've talked about it, like myself, Brett is an Eagle Scout. Brett's the vice president of the chess club. He played in the state tournament at Lewis and Clark Middle School. And Brett plans on attending State Fair Community College next year to work on a degree in computer information systems with an emphasis in programming. Words can't say enough, but you're going to be missed. But we sure appreciate you as well. Brett Sanders. is right here. I thought that was George. Aaron Thompson, would you please come forward? Aaron has received many honors. What a great job he did for us this year, as everybody did, but probably more so Aaron. Academically, he's on National Honor Society. He's on the A Honor Roll and has been on the A Honor Roll for several semesters. Aaron was nominated for Boise State. He's a 2-year letterman in baseball. He's played baseball and basketball all 4 years of his high school career. He lettered this year in basketball. Clubs and organizations, he is has completed the A+ Schools program. He's planning on attending college with the hopes of playing baseball. And also, and this is interesting, this says something about the kids that we have in this school. Atmospheric science as a major. I mean, and what would that take you? A what? Whether meteorologist, that's tremendous, that's neat. His parents, Curtis, Marguerite, one comment that Aaron has mentioned, he'd like to thank all of his coaches, managers, and players and fans who have supported him throughout the year. He wishes you returning players good luck next season. Also, thanks to the parents, his parents, and the Booster Club for all that they've done. Aaron Thompson. Nicknamed the Glove. George Titus. I didn't know where to start. I guess I've got 2 quick stories. First is a comment. Mrs. Morris, where are you? I'm glad these are Tyler's shoes and not George's.
There wasn't room for George's.
I understand. George, should I let him know? I mean, we ought to be honest, right? Should I let him know? No, that's not very nice. I have got several things to say about George, and Coach Gunn, I think, hit the nail on the head a while ago when he said that George probably has put himself in this position because of his tremendous work ethic and his dedication to a cause, and that cause is to do the best and make him the best that he is. Not that the other kids have not, and obviously you've seen that has occurred tonight. Special thanks, obviously, to his father, George, who I know as a parent, a father, a coach, a best friend to George Jr. It's paid off. There's no question, it's paid off. And I was hoping that George would have announcements for us tonight as to maybe his future plans, but I'm not going to put that pressure on him. But I think his college days are still ahead of him, and maybe his best basketball is yet ahead of him as well. George was a varsity letterman in 98-99. This year he's a McDonald's All-American nominee. He was the All-Tournament team for the Grade 8, Mike Keogh Grade 8 Classic, in which we took 3rd place. He's an active member of the Keto Culture Club. His future plans are to attend college and major in business education. His parents are George and Carol Tias. Asked if there's anything else he would like to add. Interesting enough, the past 4 years have been the fastest and most interesting part of my life as of yet. And I will conclude with one quick story. George, during practice one day, this is right before districts came up lame, and you know, that's not acceptable right before districts come up lame. And we thought maybe he was injured, and come to find out that his shoe had, I mean seriously, it almost split down in half. The sole had almost separated from the heel, and it was horrible. George Tias is known at the Nike plant in Beaverton, Oregon, their home base, because we sent the shoes back. And I want to tell you why George is known. Some of you have been in our locker room after practice, after games. And it's nothing, you know, a lot of us have this problem. But you got to remember, I think there's something very significant. A lot of us only have like size 8, 9, or 10, 12 shoe. He's got 19s. So there's that much more of a foot to produce, well, you know what I'm getting at. So in order for us to get a new pair of shoes, we had to send the old pair of shoes back to someplace in Oregon. And well, he's known up there because somebody had to open that box. And I guarantee you, when they open that box, where did this come from? So, you know, you're known, I mean, just not Little Jeff City, you're known everywhere. George Skies, I can't say enough. Don't leave us. Obviously, you've been a tremendous part of this basketball program. This is a guy, as long as these other seniors that were like you 8th graders, have been involved in the 7th grade program, and they're going to, fortunately for George, maybe some of you guys continue playing a great game. And I know from all of the coaches and myself personally, I truly appreciate your efforts, your commitment, your dedication, and being part of what J basketball is all about. George Sides. At this time, I think Tyler Morris has a brief presentation to make.
On behalf of the sophomore team, this is just a small gift for everything you've done and your hard work and dedication towards us. I know it took a lot of time. And I don't know, hopefully it'll help in the journey. Thank you, man.
I'm going to wear this as we beat North Carolina and Stanford and everybody else. Right there.
First off, we'd like to thank the cheerleaders for coming to all of our games and supporting us. And from all the basketball team, we'd like to present you with roses. You can go get those. This is not for everybody. Right? Oh man, no, I'm just boy. That's my best friend. I mean, we had some time on the buses. We had some time. Next, we want to give the coaches something. This is a certificate, and this is another gift certificate. One's for what is that? Applebee's, and one's for my dad's car wash. Don't come on Saturdays. On behalf of our team this year, we just like to thank all the coaches and the Booster Club and the parents and the fans and the cheerleaders and everybody for coming to watch us and support us the whole year. Thank you. Brett, here you go, man. I know Brett since middle school, and I've always had a crush on Brett, and it's just like cool to be around Brett. Brett's don't let Brett fool you. Brett is not as good as he seems. I'll say that much. Justin goes through some stuff. like always there for any of the basketball players, and we just thank Dustin a lot. And last, my brother. Here you go. Tyrone, he's there for us too. He helps clean, and Dustin and Tyrone, they can get real mad if we just start throwing our junk everywhere. This is the perfect thing. Jerseys go here, warm-ups go here, shirts go there. Come on, guys, let's go. So we'd like to thank all of them for that help.
I'd like to congratulate Coach Ovis, his wife, fiance. Again, Scott, thanks for everything you do. I know you work extremely hard. I don't know how I've set past you. You are on my notes. Again, thanks for everything you do. Thank you.
On behalf of the J Booster Club, I've got a little coach, excuse me. I want to thank Coach Fox and all the coaches this year for an exciting year. Of course, Coach knows I don't get excited at basketball games, but anyway, I think it was a very good year. And the Booster Club would like to recognize you. Rick, would you come out and help me in that place? Would all the 4 seniors come up, please? Rick's going to present a portrait here. You've probably seen it sitting up here, but each one gets one. Look here. What? Thank you, Rick. Give him a hand here for this. Thank you. Bye-bye. The next award we have here is for their dedicated service. One of them goes to Larry Yard. He's done a lot of work. We're going to give it to him. He's not here tonight, so give Larry a hand. Would Doug Reese come forward, please? Here is to a guy that I guess there's no words what all he does for the club. Rick has been, president I guess several years. And last year he let me take it, and just take it. Anyway, Rick's done a great job. So he asked me to be the president this year, and I said, well, what I do? And he said, I'll tell you what to do. And that's what he's done all year. So he told me what to do. So, but anyway, behind every great man, there's a what? A great woman. Beth, come forward, please. Bev and Rick Pettit, and for honorary membership in the Booster Club. Yeah, that's it. You sit down. Rob came over and said he had to leave, that you were closed. Okay.
Hopefully everybody's had a wonderful evening. It was a great meal. We got an opportunity to recognize a lot of student athletes. And I'm proud that we can say that in this building tonight, student athletes, because we do have kids. And what a wonderful group of kids we have. Parents, keep bringing them to us. We'll continue to work as hard as we do. Get behind us. You seniors, thanks for the tremendous effort. We wish you the best of luck. If you're underclassmen, what's going to be said about your class? Where are you going to be? Juniors, what are we going to say about you next year? Sophomores, what are we going to say about you in 2 years? Freshmen, what are we going to say about you in 8th grade and so forth? And we hope it's very good things, and we expect that, and we appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you.
That doesn't make sense.